Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Fatherless Sons. My name is LaShawn Wiley, and I am your host, and this is episode 115. On today's episode, under the segment Building Your Empire, we will be talking about investing versus trading. Under Couch Time segment, we will talk about the company you keep. And stick around towards the end, and I will reveal today's episode, Fatherless and Famous, who I selected today. All right, so let's jump right into it. Building your empire. And building your empire is a segment that we like to do to focus on building your wealth and creating financial independence and financial freedom. So this is why I wanted to talk about investing versus trading. And it is important to understand the difference between the two. They each have their place. Nothing that I'm saying should be taken as financial advice. You just have to do your own research. Always. That's always the case on this channel. Okay, so investing versus trading. Investing is a company or stock that you're going to buy and keep for beyond 12 months. And trading is a company or stock that you do not plan on holding on to for anything over 12 months. Where we add a little context is understanding which to use and how to use it and when to really use it in order to build wealth. How I used to like to describe it is the stock market, think of it as over a 5-year period going up, okay, over a 5-year period. But of those 5 years, 3 of those years are going to be positive years and 2 of those years are going to be negative years. Think of it this way. All right. Now, the thing is, you don't know when the positives and the negative times are going to happen. You have no idea. It's going to just be mixed up. So if you're investing, it doesn't matter because you're going to stay invested for the whole 5-year duration. So as long as you're in day one and you stay in day 5, you get to enjoy that 1 year of positivity. So that's just an oversimplified way of looking at it and highlighting what it means to invest and what it means to just trade. If you're investing, you're in it for the long run. If the stock goes down, you're not going to sell it and bail out just because the stock went down. First of all, you want to make sure your fundamentals are all there. So you want to do your research on your stock. You want to make sure it's a company that you like, that you believe will be around for the future for the next 10, 20, 30 years. You want to know about the management. You want to know about what's called PE, price earnings ratio, to make sure that that's not inflated or overblown. You want to make sure that the management is good, the leadership of the company is good. So all of the things that that you look at the company, you do your research. The company is making money. The company has good cash flow. The company is sitting on a lot of cash. They don't have a lot of debt. All of these things you want to kind of look at. And once you find a company that you really like, that you really believe in, you believe in the direction that that company is going, you believe in the product that the company is delivering or the service that the company is offering, then you put your money in there and you forget about it. You set it and forget it. You're going to be tempted to sell when you shouldn't. Because if all of those things that you checked at the first onset of investing are all still constant and the same, don't let a little bit of bad news that's going to blow over sooner or later take away your conviction for the investment that you made. If their direction changes, let's say a product that you believe that they're offering is all of a sudden off the table and they're saying, we're no longer going to do this product. And that just changes your whole outlook on the company. Well, that's a different situation because they're not the same as what you signed up for. They changed. Now let's talk a little bit about trading. Now trading is a whole different animal. You have day traders, you have week traders, you have month traders, you have quarterly trade, you have swing traders. All of these different traders, these are people looking at trends, they're looking at timing, they're looking at a way to make a quick buck, a way to take advantage of charts and stats of a stock in order to buy low and sell high. That's really what it's all about. And they're, sometimes they can do this in a matter of minutes. They can buy so many shares of a company, keep that position for 10 minutes, and then sell completely out of that position. Okay, that's what a day trader would do. They do this all the time. Sometimes people would buy a stock and keep it for 3 days and then sell out of that stock after the third or fourth day. Because they have entry points. They know exactly what price they're looking for to get into the stock and buy those shares. And then they know exactly what the price should be when they sell and get out of that stock. And if it goes an opposite direction, a way that they don't believe it's supposed to go or wasn't prepared for, they have that emergency pull the chute and get out before the losses accumulate and become too large. When you're day trading, emotions make things very messy. They don't belong in day trading. You have to basically be an ice cube because you can't get too excited because you made money and you can't get too depressed because you lost money. People who are new to trading are really bad at trading because they have no control over their emotions, zero control. There are some people who day trade for a living and they make money, you know, consistently every week. They have control over their emotions to where they can make a profit and they can do well. If you are a person that can control your emotions and you have very, good eyes for details and you can multitask and you can keep up with what's going on in the news and start learning trends, learning charts, then maybe you have what it takes to be a great day trader. So put your money to work, do some homework on some companies that you like and start buying into those companies. This is what wealthy people do. They invest in the stock market. So if you're not in the stock market, open yourself up a brokerage account. I think they can do it on Robinhood. They can do it on Charles Schwab. I would say open up your brokerage account and put money into your brokerage account directly out of your paycheck. Have it go direct deposit right into your brokerage account so that money is going to your account before you even get your hands on the rest of it and spend it. You have to put money into your account. You have to start somewhere and you have to be consistent at putting money into that account. You have to do your own homework though. Make your own decision. This is not financial advice. You decide how you want to invest and what's good for you. Everyone's going to be a little bit different in this area. Okay, so today's couch time, we're going to talk a little bit about the people that are around you. You have to pay a lot of attention to the kind of people that you're hanging around because if you're hanging around people who are unsuccessful, who are negative, they're going to rub off on you. You're going to be the next person that's like that. When I used to coach people who were trying to make change in their life and they were trying to go a different direction than the direction that they've been going in the past, I would focus on their routine and the people that they would hang around. And I would challenge them and I would say, okay, you want to do X, Y, and Z, but you're still hanging around the same group that didn't really help you out. If you want to go in a certain direction, then start hanging around those people. Okay. When I was in high school, there was a graffiti art crew, and this guy that I used to hang out with, me and my buddy used to hang out with, he wasn't really good at painting, graffiti art on the wall. And everyone wanted to be good, but we found out that he got into this tagging crew that was really good at wall art. And before you know it, this guy became really good at wall art. And, he got better than me and my friend, and we were pretty good and we were better than this dude. But all of a sudden now he's better than us and he's living a life and doing the things that we wish we can do. And he's becoming known in the streets. Everyone knows who he is. They know his name. They see that he's actually a good wall artist and everything. So he hung around the right people. He hung around other artists. And before you know it, in a quick short period of time, he became a very good artist. So it's all about who you hang with. And I learned that lesson as a youngster. If you want to be a great chef, hang around great chefs. If you want to be a millionaire, hang around millionaires. And if you can't hang around millionaires in person, then go online and look at what they're doing and learn from them by looking at them. There's a show online that I like to watch where this youngster is interviewing millionaires and billionaires. And sometimes I like to just listen to hear those millionaires and billionaires talk to confirm some of the things that I'm thinking, just to hear what's in their mind and hear how they're thinking. So, my goal is to become a multimillionaire. That's one of my goals. So for me to prep myself, I need to hear them talk. I need to know what they're thinking. So it's a way of me hanging around them. Also, just changing my mindset and change your mindset to the mindset of what you want to become. If you want to get promoted at your job, then start behaving like the boss or the position that you're trying to get promoted to instead of behaving like the employee who's not in that position yet. Let your boss see that you have some leadership skills instead of being an employee waiting to be told Start taking charge and doing things on your own before someone even asks you to do it. And then later report to the boss and say, hey, I noticed that this needed to get done. This is what I did to get it done. Just wanted to let you know, because you want to make sure they know that you took the initiative. So if you want to be a winner, hang around winners. If you don't want to be a loser, stop hanging around losers. If you want to be a positive person, stop hanging around negative people. If you don't want to be a gossip, stop being around gossips. It's all about what you hang around. You can't say, I want to be a smart guy, but you only hang around stupid people. It doesn't work that way. It just makes you feel smart because you're hanging around people who are stupid. But if you really want to be smart, you need to hang around people that make you feel stupid, that make you feel challenged, make you feel like you don't know enough. Because hanging around those guys, you're going to learn some things. All right, so let's talk about our fatherless and famous subject of the day. That person is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Great actor. And a lot of youngsters only know him as an actor. They don't really know his start. Okay. And I didn't know he grew up in a fatherless home. So by the time Dwayne The Rock Johnson was 14 years old, his dad left. His dad was a wrestler, and his dad was already not really at home because he was always on the road wrestling. And his dad name was Rocky Johnson, and his mom name was Ada. His mom was Hawaiian, his dad was black. And while in Hawaii, The Rock turned 14 years old, and Dad decided, to go Splitsville. He was out, and that left Mom struggling by herself to pay the bills and to pay the rent at her apartment. So she couldn't hold it together. And at the age of 14, they ended up sleeping in a car because she got kicked. They got evicted out of their apartment in Hawaii. To see the father leaves, and then right after the father leaves, they are homeless, sleeping in the car. And The Rock described this time as very scary because he would wake up in shopping centers, no privacy, people walking by the car, never feeling like safe and at ease. That's a scary thing for a kid to have to go through, and it's heartbreaking that all of this happens when the male decides to leave the family, that the family just takes a turn and they're not okay. So this, to me, that's just really heartbreaking. I hate to see it. Now, while The Rock was sleeping in the car homeless, he still played football while he was in school, and he ended up going to play football, but he actually got cut really quickly. He just wasn't a good football player, I guess. And then he got into wrestling because his dad was into wrestling. And he did okay as a wrestler. Well, initially he didn't, because he was like a clean cut guy with a different name, and he was a little too boring, too clean. So he didn't make any progress. So he decided to dirty it up a little bit, rough it up a little bit. And when he did that, that's when things started to take off for him. He became a superstar, a mega superstar, one of the biggest, most famous wrestlers out there of all time, holding 8 titles, 8 champion titles. So my mom used to watch this stuff. She used to watch the wrestling stuff. I used to tell her that stuff is fake. Why are you even watching it? But eyeballs were on TVs, including my mom's, watching people jump off the ring and do their shenanigans. So after they left Hawaii, he went to PA, then he went to Florida and became the mega super movie star that you all probably know him as right now. So that wasn't his original start. His original fame was wrestling, not movies. Now he's done the Fast and the Furious. He's done all of these movies. It's just, he's like a super mega star, and he even has his own tequila, which I didn't even know that. And he makes a lot of money off of his tequila, which is a surprise to me. Maybe I have to try it out and taste it. So his net worth as of 2026 is over $800 million. And some people say that his tequila business is valued so high that his net worth is probably closer to $1.2 billion. But the official figure is $800 million. So wow, nice job, Rock. That is great. And if he can do it, so can you. If he was able to make it work after being homeless and still find success and victory after overcoming this type of adversity, then you can too. With the right knowledge and courage and dedication, you can find success as well. I believe that all of you can. All right. That will do it for today's episode. Go ahead and leave your comments and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video and leave your comments. Share your story. I would love to hear your stories if you have a story that you want to share about growing up in a fatherless home. Share those comments. Let everyone see it. And if you have any questions about me on today's topics, go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. Thank you for joining. And until next time, see you later.